Good morning, friends. This is Jeff Farcos. Welcome again to the daily webinar. Today we are Monday, 26th of August, 2019. To remind you, this webinar is not meant to be a financial advice to anyone. Please consider terms and conditions before you continue. Same when you're receiving the recording of this session. As well, thank God for another day into my life and pray His blessings today in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so let's have a look. I just want to check Friday's news because I saw big moves with the yen, but that was Friday. So something has spiked the market very abruptly. So yeah, I don't know. Something very strong happened. So anyway, for today, we got the G7 meetings. Normally affects a lot what currency destinations are going. US has a core durable goods order. It seems like the preview was negative and the forecast is quite positive. So the now we got a very signal for that. And yeah, so after midnight, which normally is good to see what happened after midnight, we don't have much of to say from that. So let's look now quickly what is we have over here at the moment. So now here I have a question for those who done the course. Is this a strategy number one or is number two? Because we got the WCC in place. So just quickly, I just want to see your reaction about that. Is this number one or number two strategy? Okay, don't think you just tell me one or two. Helen, Gojo, Richard, Rita, Anthony, no, because you haven't done the course yet. So Helen say one, Rita say one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, one. So the reason I classify one because for the number two we need to have the ABC. Well, the WCC has to be in place, but we need to have the ABC set up, isn't it? So even because it's Monday, it looks to me, oh, this is strategy number two because we have the WCC and the direction, but we don't have the ABC. So remember that the number two has to have this ABC formation before we consider. So this is what I'm talking, So it's been 3 weeks, like a 1, 2, 3 weeks, and we know that if the dollar doesn't move anywhere, nothing will also do. Everything's gonna be in a sort of, and like I said, a bit of July and now August, we're about to finish. It hasn't been a very good month, but we're looking as the long term as always. That if we have 10 good months and two bad ones, that's good. So, but overall, we know that we always aim from. So here we got, plus what we got up here, the 3TP setup on the weekly time frame, which is normally we know what happened with that. Eh, and plus we got an incredible sort of resistant level from around here, and plus the three touches on monthly as well. So here as well in the weekly, we have a perfect three touches. So the 3TP is quite interesting where it is at the moment. All right. So, and the dollar actually on Friday seems like we did have a move down. So now it's down on the weekly. We see the dollar is on a minus 14, being the lowest of the number because I think the pound US is going. No, Australia is going opposite to the direction. This is what I want to talk to you as well about the U.S. crosses more in detail. But anyway, so that's the signal we have. So at the moment, we know we don't want to trade in the run. We want to trade in the retracement. So at the moment, my setup is to look the midline as my entry point with the previous high to get that to get the stops. Now, when we see sort of kind fractal formation over here, maybe later tonight, then I can put both because the market could, retrace or could just break over there. But that's definitely is the number one, which is the weekly candle close trend line breakout, and that it is a quite. We got the index meter with us, so this therefore that could be a quite nice setup today. So the Euro US is the first one, the first day to switch up, which is this is what I normally look in. Now look how interesting, even if the Euro was showing a strength in other currencies, look what is interesting that is this is why the part I like it of this one. And if you look in this divergence here, is actually is in this date over there. So, one of the things I remember I learned from one in one of the expos. I talked to many traders that I said, look, professional traders always trade setups that has a high odds in their side. They don't trade all the time. They're just waiting for the high setups. We have three types of setups with us. We know that the number one, this is actually, I forgot to put it, this is the number one setup, uh, um, always carrying a high risk. All right. We know the setup number two is actually a low risk, and setup number three, is actually mid risk as well. All right, because it could go either ways. Now, so this is nothing wrong to try to meet, half a lot size, because this is just right over there. We got a beautiful double bottom over there. We did have a here with the euro. The euro has a lot of intents of recovering, but here overall we see it is, it hasn't been with the euro alone, a good run really, is months up, months down. So we don't have these good months like that. But even with that, we have still managed, done it quite okay over here. So there we are. So we got the data in place. We got everything there. So what I'm aiming is for this moment. I never like to buy the runs. Sometimes they go without retracement, but I'm wanting a good retracement later today. It has to have. I don't trust much that the morning sessions, because they normally, they have good runs, but suddenly they're pulling down. But that's a nice setup over there. So once I got a quite nice retracement, then I'm gonna set up the EA for both. So at the moment, I'm aiming the midpoint trade, um, and um, and that's what I'm gonna be waiting for this one. So everything, this is a very good setup. We got the weekly candle, the index mirror there. Now this has been terrific, with the pound up and down, up and down. He already has break, so it looks like sometime through here, because both were going together, but the pound definitely is being fired up. Thursday, it looks to me that it was a good day trade, but then it has come back big time, go up again, and do we have a setup at the moment? No, isn't it? We got a breakout with high volatility. It's definitely in a very interesting place where we are with the pound. Remember, the pound moves quite good. Now, if you're looking, to start trading for a long-term decisions, and then, go up, this is a good time. This is, you know, um, Anthony, I using a strategy, or not strategy, but a psychology called the shopping levels. What is a shopping levels? I always ask people, when is the best time to go shopping? And everyone, no exception, even my wife said, is when the specials are on. Isn't it? Everyone's looked, for Boxing Day, Christmas, Father's Day, Mother's Day. Or Father's Day is coming soon anyway. I have to make my list for my family. And yeah, we always do, because nobody wants to buy expensive things. We love specials. One of the things I always say to people, I don't like to go with my wife shopping, because to buy one product, we have to visit like a 10 shops before we buy. I just like to buy the first one I see and get out of the shop. But that's the nature in us. So we no one wants to buy expensive stuff. We always look for bargains. We always at the shopping level. Why? Because it's cheap. So this is what my system it is. Shopping level is where the price is cheap. So we look into sell resistant and buy supports. And that's just the psychology side. So when you hear me say shopping levels, is because, we look in all kind of shopping levels, whether it is, long term, mid term, or short term. So this is where we are. And we have here a shoulder, head and shoulder. We got a breakout. So we got a pattern in his own with a big major shopping level. So this can really took off. If it does, we can start add positions from here. So definitely here, I need to wait for a nice pullback before I consider the moment the pound. It seems like could have some retracements of things, but this is on my watch list now. So That's what I don't have at the moment. We need to wait for that setup, not just to jump. Before I used to say, okay, yep, let's put the trade over there. But we don't have the setups that we're looking for, and the pound is being very volatile. All the pound crosses. Australia US, it seems like on Thursday it was the setup. Now when we look in the Australia, it's with the green one, so it seems like a sort of Friday, would it be, or Thursday? Somewhere over here, we already got Australia vents that I don't know how it react over there, and yeah, so this is a nice. So we got already the break. So our job now is to wait for the pullback, isn't it? To the GC candle, and when we got the GC candle in place, and we got a pullback, back from there. Now I have suspicions about this is wrong move. Why? Anyone can you see why I believe that this is maybe I know the Australia is on the wrong side of the of there. Can anyone remember? I'm very sure no one will do, but I always like to ask just in case that there. So Rita say gold up, yeah, definitely is gold up. But what about is why I'm believing that this is wrong, based on currencies only, knowing what currency actually Australia most likely to follow. The US is weak, yeah, that's definitely it is Rita there. New Zealand is up, Canadian, yeah, all of this. What is the most tradable currency in this planet? You tell me. The euro. Now, we know that the euro US, which is here, is the most tradable currency. 67 people in this planet trade the euro US. And we always has established the euro as a leading indicator or leading currency. Now, of course, we know that the euro is very highly affected what the dollar does, isn't it? Because now we've got a dollar index. So if you look in through history, into between the euro and the Australia US on the daily time frame, could you say that every time the euro go one way, the Australian never, sometimes lost the correlation, but most likely it tends to follow the direction of the euro. And no matter how far I go in history, the euro, has a big effect in the Australia. Like I said, it loses divergence from time to time, uh, but most likely the euro always have that kick out. For example, here I think it lost, just a pullback, but that was a continuation here. Maybe it's trying number three, but there it is. So that's what I believe that if the euro is in his way up, the Australia is wrong. Okay, so that's a quite nice information that we can have that this is the way it works. So no matter how far we go, or there, we know that even if the Australia, when I see the euro this direction, I know the Australia will not go opposite. I would not be looking here for an ABC to go long or long over there, because I know where this guy is going. And if this guy is going down, you know, I'm possible will look in every sell opportunity until find that one there, and then the market moves down. So the euro is kind of a leading indicator that wherever we see the euros, kicking out, that, and same is with the pound US, same is with it New Zealand US, same story. So no matter where we're looking, sometimes it moves bigger than this one, but the moves are very, very similar to that. That's why the euro pound is very difficult to trade, because most likely these two European currencies tend to move in the same direction, and this is why. So you happy with that? So that's why I don't have at the moment any setup apart from what happened on when I was not here. The setup is there for me. So we just now need to wait what the direction of the euro where it's going. So we leave it alone that um, if now let's see the euro decides or the US decides now to turn back again and everything goes same, we're waiting for the strike number two, which it will be the WCC direction, and then everything agree. So we must trade the setups. All right, we cannot just jump in over there. Oh yeah, this is let's put a trade over there. No, let's wait for the setups. We have three beautiful setups in place that we can use them from that. Everyone happy with that? Or you want to jump in before the market moves? New Zealand US is just continue every pullback at the moment, is good to go to short. So, and if the euro is going up, this is why maybe now this one stays there. So maybe, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, at the moment, I don't see the setup according to what we know. US Canadian is in a horrible consolidation. Even, leave it alone. US Swiss now, we got a quite beautiful setup over here. Actually, I forgot to put it here, the Fibonacci there, because we got 2 weeks down, 1 week up, 1 week down. So we got the perfect ABC on a GC strategy here, which is possible, could end up in a big move from there. And then we have a beautiful GC strategy over there set up. It's still considered strategy number one because we is the beginning of the week, and we don't have the ABC following that, and there it is. So that's what the midpoint trading is waiting for there, and see what happens if the market travels somewhere over here. Then I put the both, so that's mean that whether the market touch or breaks over here, the trade will be activated. But at the moment, we know how tricky it could be to trade it. Now, don't know why I put it the 50 minutes there, but this is in the 1 hour time frame there that we're looking. But that's a good setup. Plus, we got the divergence that we're looking here. The Swiss has a strength, maybe because, as Kojo said, gold is strong, and the Swiss will be strong. So this is a nice trade. So this is a nice setup. So you agree with that? So we got the setup, and the only thing we have to do is just set the trade up and then see what happens, from there. Then we got the US yen, same scenario. So, I was looking for that nice support. Nothing happened through here. So now we got the weekly candle close breakout, which is over there. It's trying number one, midpoint, waiting for that. And if once the market moves close to the midpoint, set up for below over there. And yeah, that was a nice support as well. Everything was telling us, but at the moment, this is the direction. So the market is continue from the break. That was a nice retracement, and it was difficult. That's definitely it is. You look at last week, it's just going up and down, up and down, up and down, and now we have a down play. So we got a direction now. As I say, it's the first day. The market has gap in the favor of the close of Friday, and we need to wait for the pullback. That's all I can see over there. Euro yen. Now, this is another story. And this is what I want to, with everyone who knows me for quite long. You know that my two favorite groups always has been that the Australia US group and yen group. And that's what actually I put that order over here. Because from here to there, this is my major groups. This one, yes, I like to trade, but they always has some kind of issues over there. Now the euro yen is going down. What would be stopping me to trade the euro yen in that direction? Why am I not looking to that? Even if here, let's see, the yen is strong and the euro is less strong, so I can say, yeah, that is still a good break with everything. What would stop me? Why I don't decide to try today that setup? So that's the fundamental way of looking trade. Anyone? Come on, don't let me do all the talking to me. The gap is too big? No, wrong. What is stopping me to trade the euro yen short here? Everyone's thinking. No? Say no if you don't know the answer. No pullback? Not really? But yeah, in other words, yes, the euro daily is strong. I think Rita is being awake today, and maybe you have coffee. Now, I was saying to you many times about the correlation between the US group and the yen groups, isn't it? Right? Now, have a look this. What happened when the euro US and the euro yen are together? Now, look this one. So, Anthony, you got bonus today over there. Look what happened normally when these two, the euro US and the euro yen. So there is a high correlation moves between these two. Can you see that? The best way to trade the yen crosses always will be to follow what the US pair are doing. How many of you are excited with that? So that's what I was trying to say to you yesterday, Kojo, about this. That when we now, if we have the dollar index, okay, if we got the dollar index leading us in the U.S. pair, and we want to trade the yen pairs, would be no wise to wait for this one to help us into these trades over there. Look, for example, when that one went there. You know, if you look at the majority of the trades, like I said, nothing is 100% correlated, but most likely they tend to correlate. Now, if this is no goal, so here we can see maybe the strategy number one in place. We got a break, we got some kind of resistance over there, and here we can say, yep, this is a nice trade. Then we check what happened with the euro yen. Now you not only gonna possible make to the top 225 pips, but here you can achieve 360. So you double your you instead of leverage your money, you leverage what? Your trades. And the accuracy here, so that's what is important. The WCC break trend line is important because we don't want to miss that. This is the number two strategy, but as you see, no matter how far we're looking, the accuracy is quite scarce. You see, for example, and this is what my eyes always been. This is one of the secrets I believe that not many people knows about this. So if I look over here, specific on weekly NTF workspace, here I can say, oh yeah, this is going up. Definitely is going up. Nothing is telling me it's going down. Retrace, retrace, and here I have a date, and the index meter will tell me to trade here. Oh yeah, the index meter will tell me here, do a trade. But what could stop me to not to trade here when I see this one's going like that? For example, that day. How in the world am I gonna trade the euro yen long when I see the euro US already coming down? How many of you like this information right now to trade that way? And this is not new for the old people that they not old in age, so don't get angry with me, but who's been long enough with me. Have I not always say this, isn't it? Okay. So now, no matter what we're looking here, whether it is the pound US and the pound yen, the correlation, that's scary. So we're trading the US pairs basing on the dollar in the dollar index chart, basing on the index currency strength meter, and suddenly we can jump to the second pair. Huh? How many of you say praise the Lord for that? And it's just going, you know, over and over again. no matter where we look. And now, if we want to, let's say, I don't want to trade two pairs. They are the two pairs you can trade for the rest of your life, and don't do anything more because these two pairs actually has most of the pips, all the currencies together. So that's why. How in the world are gonna trade the euro yen down while the euro US is going up? Is that a good observation? So this is why. All right. So I said what I want to say, so let's keep moving. So pound yen, same now. Look, we got a break up, that's fine. We got the setup, it's a nice support over there. Technical is just technical. We look in the shopping levels, but this is when we're coming to the setups over here. The pound US is going up. So this is a nice breakdown, but we don't want to trade against what we know works the best. So here, maybe tomorrow, we will have a good opportunity, the pound US and the pound yen. And this would be a perfect ABC on a 3TP on a monthly shopping level. And that's gonna be that's gonna be at least to here, to that level, the monthly midpoint line. And that would be great. So it's good setups for that. Same with this one. We did have the Australian number one, but now Australian yen. Now we're looking at the funny thing here. The euro US is going up, and the Australian US is going down. So I don't want to trade that. All right. Now the reason I have the Australian yen here set up, which is the trade is already running from there. So the reason that is because the Australian US is down. Now I have in behind my mind that the Euro US is going up, and this trade maybe will have difficulty to go that direction over there. But never mind, I wouldn't risk that maybe 20 pips into that position, waiting for the MPT, but I'm not too sure. It may be this until tomorrow. See how things going. We're coming to the 1,000 pip levels over there at the moment, and we know what happened over there. So New Zealand yen, same thing. That was the strike number three. Market there breaks from here, and it's been running ever since. The New Zealand has been completely into that move at the moment. Canadian yen, we got Canadian down, yen up. We see that that could be the strike number one. We got a break, the gain MPT there, and when we look in the same thing here, if we say okay, I want to see the U.S. Canadian and the Canadian yen. Now remind you this one, the Canadian is the second currency and the Canadian is the first currency. So that's mean that when the U.S. Canadian going up, we will see the Canadian yen coming down. Don't you love that? What do you reckon, Rita? Is that good or no? So, so this is, at the moment we see the U.S. Canadian has no direction whatsoever. So the Canadian yen has his possibilities whether, it will trade or no, that direction that it says. But look, I got the setup over there. I got the weekly. With that, the Canadian is and the weekly is one of the and the yen is very strong. So in the weekly view, Mira, we got what we're looking for. All right. So it's matter of see what happened with the U.S. Canadian. If the U.S. Canadian breaks up, that trade, could be a good trade. It's the first day that it breaks, so I'm waiting for the pullback over there. Euro Australia, again, this is, look how it's been the last 3 weeks. Very, very terrible. So, I was looking to go short because of that, because the resistance, nothing happened. Now we got a run. So I don't know if anyone took the break of that day when we see the Euro Australia, the Euro is as you see today. It is the first day it is up, and so that any breakout from here was not making sense at the end of the day. Maybe in this index meetup, that day, whatever that beautiful daily over here, which would be this date over there, it would indicate that the market was on a good trade on Thursday, would it be? Yeah, Thursday would it be? in that trade setup. So now we missed the stride number one, so we're waiting now for the stride number two in place. Patient pays profits, and we'll see with the Euro Canadian. We got a break in the one. We got the Euro up, the Canadian down. So therefore, now we got the ABC and the weekly over here. So we see an ABC. That's where I got the Fibonacci, and that's the target. If this trade got executed with the weekly candle close breakout, and again, so I put in the 30 minutes because I'm aiming for that. But when I see the market through the day around here, I will set up with both and see how I'm going to do with that one over there. Euro New Zealand, same position. We got another ABC set up going there, but the move is already in his way up. So, and the euro is today is my first move. Like I said, this currency does no. This is faster. This is a slow. This is more conservative type of candle at the end of the day. All right, so that's Euro New Zealand. We need to wait for the setup. Pound Australia, the same. It's been, as you see here, terrific. You know, look these moves over there. After this nice move up here, I was expecting with the strike number three over there, didn't happen, and then the market goes, very, very bad up. So now we're waiting for the GC strategy over here. Any pullback, and from there we'll see what happened. Pound Canadian the same. In Pound New Zealand, same thing. So this is hasn't been quite easy. These Canadian crosses really are breathtaking. So, but um, yeah. So, all right. So that's the setups that we got for today, and that. And yeah, so if we just go quickly and review, what I just said to you about the Euro US. And if I look the pound US already, we say the Euro US always will be a leading currency for these ones over here. With it, sometimes the pound, as I say, it goes different, but overall, look, the correlation is quite incredible. And look, if you try there, maybe with the euro you will have, some stop outs with little profit, but the pound run over there. So that's what the euro pound, Australia, New Zealand the same, euro pound, Australian, Canadian the same. They're always going to be difficult currencies to trade because, 80% plus, the euro, the pound, the Australia, New Zealand going, going the same direction because what the euro US is doing. So, if you have a setup, every time you have a setup in this one, you got to check, okay, where the euro is doing. Is trending up, is trending down, is in a shopping level? Do we have a stride number one, number two, number three? And this is why, is very important to keep an eye. And look, when the setups are there, they are there. There is no 100% correlation that never existed before, but you know, whatever it is there is just quite magic at the end of the day. All right. So that's at the pound. We look in we already looked at Australia before. If we're looking with the New Zealand, the same thing. That every setup, even the New Zealand follows. Now, do you reckon is that a good information to everyone in the room now today? As you know, I always keep reminding the strategies, and So, for example, here you see the in this time, is when I say, who am I going to be trading? That the New Zealand US long, while I see these moves over there. So this is the place that maybe you can trade the Euro New Zealand. All right, that's the only time it's going to work, and it's working big time in that. But look, to keep simple, we want to follow the direction of that. And that's when you see it say, oh, here we got a nice breakout possibility. And even that, I could say here, no, this is only a pullback. I missed that trade. I don't want to trade that way. And that's how normally, the market reacts in levels like this. So that's a nice GC strategy over there. You see that, and if that's not enough, that's the move. All right. So that's the main thing. Now, So that's the looking the U.S. pairs, against it, and the same with the other ones. If we look in the and now here it will be the other way around, So in this condition, so when the Euro US is going up, the US Canadian will go down. Very simple. All right. So you see, when I see this one coming down, what am I going to be looking? I know that here is the maximum I can go. I can close those trades over there because of what happened with it. I believe this is sort of kind of the fundamental side of trading. All right. So this is what I'm looking over there. Look, for example, trades like this one, and you see something like that. And I remember that trade I did. But here, very clear, we see the market is on a position buy. So, and that's a nice days to run. Um, Look, when one goes down, the other one's is going up. Very simple with it. So when we see the Euro US coming down, we know, and here, for example, look, both went together in 3 days. That's the only time you can trade the Euro Canadian. And that's the only way that Euro Canadian will work from these positions over there. But more likely, this is the direction. So same with the Swiss. Now the Swiss is high correlate to the Euro US. This is sometimes pip by pip that the correlations are there with this pair you know. So when both going together, for me, one of these guys are wrong, or it's the Euro US or the US Swiss. But looking this move over there, I would say the Euro US is wrong, and it was and this is why gold actually showing us that event. But most of the time, that's it. One is going up, and the other one's going down. One was going down, the other one's going up. One is going up and the other one's going down. One is going up and the other one down. The other one's up, down. And this is a high correlation now if you look in these two pairs in there. Okay. Now the yen, it is a bit difficult because the yen has his own mindset towards that, but still, looking the the moves that we have over there, is still working. The yen is actually another US pair, but yeah, so that's normally the scenario. And but overall, I think this is like a sort of the law of gravity in trading, because that's, and it's a very visual, very, very there. So so we know that, with the euro, when the euro US is going up, we're gonna look for trades for the pound US up, the Australian US up, New Zealand US up. If we want to stack the odds in a favor. All right, so what we're looking here for setups that stacks the most high odds in our favor. So we can trade less but more accurate in our trades. All right, so following that simple fundamental view, so if the Euro US going up, we know that pound Australian New Zealand, we're going to trade up. But the US Canadian, the US yen, and the US Swiss, we will trade down. That's what it shows here, all right? So that's that fundamental rule number one. If we want to incorporate the yen pairs, we need to make sure that, in all of these, we're gonna be follow, the if I trade in the New Zealand yen, I want to see what the New Zealand US is doing there. And that's it. So if I look trades from here, I want to make sure, do I going in the direction of the main currency? Do I trading high probabilities trade over there? That's a nice ABC what the dollar is doing against that one there. Now, do you reckon that it will actually stack odds in your favor? You can see every day. So this is going to be a rules that we're going to have for the US pair and the yen pair. There is no much guarantee with the dollar, with the euro and the pound groups. All right, but even if we follow these simple US pairs, we can actually see, excuse me, that this is the a good way to look to trade over there. So the accuracy and the correlation of these ones are quite interesting. As I say, sometimes they are not 100%, but when they are, so I think this will be stack the order. So that's how we can look to trade these two. What I'm thinking, why no one's with this expertise on on programming could have set up and fully automatic AI based on this information. We put in the information and say, look, we want you to follow this, and do this way. I just don't understand, that you know, what is the something that can see what I see, but do it in an automatic way. All right, my friend, it's 40 minutes. I better go. So not much to say today. So it's Monday. I apologize for last week, but look, here we are back again, and hopefully things. As I said, the problem is still far from over to being solved. And I will continue to apologize if it's something happened through the week, but I will be continue sending the chat, sending the index meeting in the morning. But keep an eye with this. So this is why I say I better let you know of this. All right. Keep it well, and yeah, we see you tomorrow morning, same time, same place, if God's will. Have a beautiful day. Cheers and bye.